Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're taking a look at some 8 Princes stuff. That's right, we're looking at some of the characters, because there's 8 of them, and I don't know about you, but I had no idea who any of them were, up until, up until this got announced, honestly. So, yeah, basically, I want you guys to tell me who you want me to play on my channel, and I'm actually going to be doing 2 campaigns in tandem this time round, which might be a bit ambitious, we'll see. It's going to be 1 episode of each day for the first, like, a week, hopefully, and then I'll be alternating. But I figured, yeah, let's just get in with some more variety early. I want to just throw a load of stuff out there for you guys, because, yeah, you've been eating up 3 Kingdoms stuff. It's been great. You guys have really enjoyed it, and I'm so pleased to start another campaign that I'm going to start 2. So what I'm doing, alright, what I'm doing with this this video and the next, there's 2s, this is a 2-parter. This video will look at Sima Wei, Sima Lun, Sima Ai, and Sima Jiong, and this will be the first vote. That's right. That's right. I'm doing 1 campaign from the top row and 1 campaign from the bottom. So there'll be the 2 votes that you'll be voting for. 1 for these guys or 1 for these guys. That way it helps split it up a bit, right? That way, you know, it's not necessarily the 2 most popular picks. On YouTube, it gives more chance for me to be playing something a little bit more obscure that you might not find elsewhere. And, well, it's kind of arbitrary. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about the first 4, and then either later today or tomorrow, it'll be these 4 that we'll talk about, so you can pick between them as well. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So first off, we have Sima Wei. So here he is, hanging out by a trebuchet. They all really like doing that, by the way, and they all like flying through the air. You'll notice it's a trend with all of them. It's probably a family thing, I don't know, but they love it. They love it. So, Sima Wei. Hero class, he's a vanguard, and his nickname is the Tempestuous General. Tempestuous, huh? Let's find out how. So, Sima Wei is one of the sons of Emperor Wu, original founder of the Jin dynasty, and was given military command of the Jin province at the young age of 18, which is kind of impressive to be in charge of a province at such a young age, but that's family for you. Known for his volatile temper, but also generous to the people and his troops, he joined Empress Jia in a conspiracy to overthrow Yang Jun. Now, his troops are marching into Luoyang, establishing the political and martial pressure in the name of Empress Jia. Nevertheless, Sima Wei is loyal to the Jin and will not hesitate to do what is best for the Empire. So let's check him out doing a little something. I don't know what he's going to do. Let's find out. I was going to stare this guy down. Doesn't seem very nope, tempestuous. That was the one. Doesn't seem very tempestuous, does he? Actually looks kind of calm. But, hey, there he is. So, playstyle. An aggressive expander, he will be able to field armies more efficiently and cheaply if he can maintain momentum. This means a big upkeep reduction and replenishment bonus when his fury is high. Fury is his unique resource and represents his vigor, his tempestuousness. Hell of a word that, if that was in, no, that's too big for countdown, I think. But be a hell of a lot of points. And his spirit in defending the authority of the Empire. Fury will make others wary and jealous, so it risks isolating him diplomatically, though his military power should be able to match this. He can also vent some of his energy into rewarding his followers through assignments and gifts. That's pretty interesting. So he has nice ways to sort of keep his people happy that are close to him, but also he's going to annoy everyone else because he is a warlike psycho. But as long as you're on his side, you're going to be treated well, so I like that. So you do have the opportunity to give followers assignments and gifts, which will cheer them up, which is kind of cool. I do like that. It's an interesting mechanic. So sounds like it's going to be a nightmare to play, honestly, if you're having to essentially annoy everybody. Reminds me of the Jiang campaign, which I did not play aggressively at the start at all. I was very calculated about my approach to that, but hey, I might try this one more aggressively, because we did manage to juggle every war as He Yi, so, you know, we'll see, we'll see. So, Guanxi. Sima Wei is accompanied by his 2 trusted assistants, Qi Jiang and Gongsun Hong. Both are loyal to Sima Wei and both share resentment against Sima Wei's rival, Sima Liang. Sima Wei can count on both, be it in military matters or in matters of political intrigue. Cool, cool. So, start position. This is what always interests me the most, I think, the start position. Because, of course, it's the same map, right? But we're going to see the map played out completely differently this time, because people are going to be in charge of completely different provinces. There'll be different vassals kicking around. It's just going to play very differently. So I can't wait to see sort of how the the map shapes over time, depending on who's playing, well, whatever you're playing, right? Or me, if, you know, it's the Let's Play, but whatever. So, Sima Wei starts within grasp of the capital, Luoyang, and his power base is well established. He has 2 vassals, the Prince of Nanyang to the east and the Prince of Ba to the west. While these can initially provide great support, they will eventually open new fronts against common enemies as well. Sima Wei's starting commandery, Shangyong, is relatively secure and has a master weapon craftsman. That's cool. So we can see some really good weapons, you know, for all of his troops, which is awesome. Obviously over time, but to be able to get all of your characters, you know, really well equipped is unique. I don't think any faction were in control of like craftsmen in the base campaign. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works, because you might end up just trading a lot of them for extra cash, you never know. But its terrain is mountainous and difficult to traverse. Therefore, as Sima Wei, it will be vital to extend your power base early in order to increase the extent of your military range. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. We can also see some bonuses here. Plus 10% melee damage faction-wide. Awesome. 15% campaign movement range faction-wide. That is massive. So that means you can outrun or catch up to like anything at the start, which is awesome. And 10% replenishment, so that will help keep that momentum up, because if this early campaign is anything like the base game's early campaign, replenishment is terrible. So that 10% bonus could be gigantic. Also, one of the characters, Gong Sun Hong, is a strategist, so expect flaming arrows nice and early. So that's another really cool thing to have. And he does have some unique units by the looks of it, so cool. So aggressive expansion. Fury reduces unit upkeep and increases replenishment. Has impact on diplomatic attitude of other factions. Increases through victories and occupation options. And Fury decays over time. So it will wane, much like the resource for Zhenjiang. So interesting. It's cool to see. That is cool to see. So, what kind of player is he for? For players who like to be driven forward at all times and who not only want to feel rewarded themselves for taking risks, but also like to share their spoils with their followers and comrades. I like that. I like the sound of this. So, Sima Wei, definitely a contender. I'm certainly interested in playing him, but we'll have to see who's next. So, Sima Lun. Let's check him out. Sima Lun, right. So, again, loves hanging out next to trebuchets and then launching himself through the air. They'd all enjoy it. So, he is a commander. Alright then. Nickname, the Usurper Prince. They all have very cool nicknames, I must say. My nickname's not half as cool. Anyway, who is he? Sima Lun, Prince of Jiao. You're not actually going to get this playing while we're here, you know? Just get him going. So, Sima Lun, Prince of Jiao, and Sima Yi's youngest son was an egomaniac who was willing to go to any length to secure power. Historically, it was through his actions that the War of the Eight Princes started in earnest, having convinced Empress Jia to assassinate the crown prince. He then accused her of treachery and had her and her family killed. Basically, this guy's an asshole. Although acting as regent to Emperor Hui, I think. At first, it was not long before he declared himself emperor, drawing the ire of the other princes and starting a cycle of war and betrayal that would shake the Jin dynasty for years to come. So, bit of a wrong-un, isn't he? Look at him about to stab that guy in the back, probably. What a jerk. I do like the little jade belt, though. Very fun. Very fancy. Look at this. Very fancy. Anyway, yeah, playstyle. Sima Lun is a self-serving schemer, willing to engage in subterfuge and treachery in order to acquire riches and power for himself, even if it means sacrificing the efficiency of his own administration. Interesting. He builds subterfuge through acts of espionage and by developing his own corrupt judiciary building chain. Having plotted sufficiently, he expends this resource in order to control other factions and diplomacy. So I'm assuming similar to Cao Cao, being able to actually, you know, make people do what you want using, you know, using a resource. It's kind of cool. I like the sound of this. It's interesting. Definitely a villain. Very selfish, but being able to selfishly force other people to do your bidding does sound a lot of fun. Maybe I'd want to do it myself. You know, be like, no, I want that land, I'm going to take it, rather than having other people bicker. But it's a nice way to get enemies off your back while you can, you know, prepare to invade them both, and that sounds like a lot of fun to me. So, although I don't like sacrificing the efficiency of your own administration, that sounds risky. But we'll see. We'll see. This is definitely interesting. Seems very different to the other stuff, you know, to the other characters we've had so far. So, I think this is also a pretty cool contender. I mean, I'm sure they all are, but hey, I've got to play something, right? So, Guanxi, Sima Lun may delight in deviousness, but it is said that the true cunning behind his ambition lies in the hands of his trusted advisor, Shun Xiao. Xiu? Swen Xiu? Swen Xiu. I think it's Swen Xiu. I'm not sure. Again, pronunciation, not my strong point, but I do try. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. An inseparable pair, there are no depth to which Swen Xiu would not have his prince stoop in pursuit of wealth and power. Okay, so he only has one, you know, bro to hang out with. Start position. Yeah, that's what I want to see. There he is. So, yeah, so while the mountains were, hang on, name, line, Sima Wei, that's right. Sima Wei down here. So, obviously, got the river between them. So, you know, they're probably not going to, you know, be in big conflict early. So, that's interesting. So, Sima Lun presides over the fertile lands of Xiangdang and Yue, north of the Yellow River, securing the entirety of Xiangdang and moving into the Taiyuan Mountains will give him a solid power base and source of income, removing his initial threat and allowing him to focus south towards the capital all the while. Sima Yong, the Prince of Hejian, is nearby, and although they begin on fair terms, his opportunism poses a threat to Sima Lun's ambitions. Prepare for war. Cool stuff. So, his retinue gets stalk. I like that. I like that a lot. Also, guerrilla deployment. So immediately, his retinue is going to be a nightmare, because they'll start right on top of the enemy. Although I do find it can be a bit annoying a lot of the time, depending on what the units are. But it does look like he has cavalry on board. So if you can hide them somewhere, that's brilliant. That sounds very cool. Also, minus 10% diplomatic penalty with most factions. Yeah, he started the war, so of course. And yeah, a strategist. So again, flaming arrows early, hopefully. You know, might be the way to do it. So yeah, sounds interesting for sure. Sounds interesting for sure. So espionage and diplomacy, again through judiciary buildings and use of spies. I never have any luck with spies. So this might be a good one, just because it'll actually force me to use spies and, you know, really test out that mechanic, because, God, I never have any luck with it. Incites proxy wars and enables diplomatic deception, increases the effectiveness of the faction's undercover network. So, potential here for sure. So, what kind of player is he for? Any player looking to double down on clandestine activity should embrace Sima Lun's subterfuginous style. Subterfuginous, another great word, you know, be fantastic in a game of Boggle. So, driven as it is by performing spy actions and enabling some powerful diplomatic chicanery. Great words here. Great words, guys. I'm a fan of who's writing these blogs. They're coming up with some like gems here. Being a sneak has never felt so good. Alright. Alright, so that's Sima Lun. Let's have a look at Sima Ai, shall we? So, Sima Ai, again, just like all his brothers, flying through the air, loves it. Who is he? So, hero class, he's a champion, and he is a principled administrator. I mean, I always find it weird when nicknames are longer than the actual name. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but we'll ignore that, because they're cool nicknames. Except principled administrator. That's more of like something you'd put on your resume. But that's fine, you know, whatever. That might be his thing. So, who is he? Sima Wei's brother, of the same mother, concubine consort Shen. Sima Ai was praised by many for his filial piety. He supported Sima Wei in his coup against Regent Sima Liang, and when Empress Jia had Sima Wei executed, Sima Ai was demoted as the supporter of a criminal. In subsequent years, he became known as a reformist and as a diligent administrator with humility and great talent. Of all the princes, he was possibly most dutiful to the true Emperor Hui, despite his disabilities, and always paid him respect. Sima Ai wanted to reform the government and oh, I'm going to play this, aren't I? Yeah, let's do that. Looks like he's actually going to be busy in here too, so that's lovely. So, yeah, look at him go. Oh, isn't that cool? Anyways, interrupting the reading. Let's get back to it. Where was I? I got distracted. There we go. He wanted to reform the government, and amid the constant flip-flop between centralized government and decentralized liberalism during the later Han and early Jin periods, Sima Ai tried to be the driver for a modern approach to liberalism. The most poignant moment of Sima Ai's life came at the end, before being burned to death as a traitor by the rebels Sima Ying and Sima Yong. He wrote a touching farewell letter to Emperor Hui. Well, that's sad. Burned to death. Ugh. Poor guy. Jeez. Oh well. That's history. Playstyle. Sima Wei was a practical reformist and a filial administrator. As such, his playstyle is focused on the civic side and developing a reformed infrastructure. He is about focusing on a decentralized government and liberal administration, represented by certain building choices. He will have to balance the need for centralized infrastructure with other elements to create a balanced approach to commandery management. I have no idea what any of this means. If he can modernize the government successfully, he will be rewarded with better research rates, higher public order, a less corrupt government apparatus, and more efficient trade. So I'm assuming he just had a load of buildings, which add to research and public order and lower corruption and put up trade power. I'm assuming that's what that means, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it ties into a resource. We'll find out. You know, could just be you build a load of those buildings, you get that resource high enough, and it gives you just bonuses to all of that stuff. I don't know. We'll find out. But sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Sounds more of an empire builder rather than a fighter, right? Rather than a conqueror, which sounds kind of cool. It's a slightly different approach again. So Guangxi, Huangfu. Shang is one of Sima Wei's closest advisors and military commanders. He fought various battles for his superior, while being rewarded with higher offices under Sima Wei's superiority. Huangfu Shang was also rival of Li Han, who was a Shiming lieutenant of Sima Yong. So his start position, well, I always like to see. So yeah, near where Swen Jian starts in the base campaign. So that's kind of a cool place. As the Prince of Changsha, I like Changsha. I had some good battles in Changsha. Fighting Swente in my He Yi campaign. Yeah, I remember it fondly. Anyway, Sima Wei starts relatively far away from the capital in a good position. He also has a master armorer in his region. That's really cool. That's really cool that they're getting, potentially just items to feed into the economy or, make themselves tougher with. That's really cool. That's a nice thing. So, to the north, the Yangtze River provides a good defense, but the terrain in the south is difficult to maneuver, so expansion will be difficult. Yeah, because it looks like it's actually populated for once, which I actually really like. That was a bit of an annoying thing in the base game, where all of the south was just kind of nothing. That upset me a bit, although it looks like this is all still maybe nothing, judging from the sort of the different colours here. Although I'm not sure what all this space is. Yeah, I'm not sure what the different colours are representing here, but hey, that's fine. Whatever, that's fine. So, extra ammunition for all units, faction-wide, 25% is substantial. That could be an extra, 5 shots for, a lot of archers. That can add up a lot. Also, plus 10 morale when defending, faction-wide. And again, that's kind of cool. The fact that he can sort of defend places is all about keeping his territory sort of under wraps and making sure it's being run effectively, all the rest of it. So I think the extra morale, that could just be because the people like him, right? They're willing to fight for him against his enemies. They have faith in that, so they're going to defend their land because they've worked hard on it, and I kind of like that. So, playstyle focus, internal development. High reformation increases trade influence. So I guess reformation is the currency that you're getting, right? It says there, right? So yeah, I'm assuming that you build buildings gives you reformation, and that gives you other things. So increases public order and reduces corruption, increases research speed. Reformation is determined by settlement development. So yeah, there we go. Interesting. Also, he has unique spears and archers. So very traditional, good defending units. Very solid lines. So he's all about building upwards rather than outwards by the looks of it. So I like that. That's an interesting approach that we haven't really tackled before. So I like that. I like that. He seems interesting. What kind of player is he for? Is it me? Well, it's for you to decide, isn't it? So, Sima Wei is for the player who focuses a lot on civic infrastructure and who enjoys administration of their commanderies. That's something I did tend to not keep on top of in my previous Let's Play, so this might teach me to do so. I don't know. He's also for players who believe in political liberalism and who want to reduce direct state-driven control and its corruption. So, cool stuff. So, finally, in what will be the first vote for the first campaign I'm going to be playing, Sima Jiong. So, let's have a look at Sima Jiong. So, again with the trebuchets. Loves it. Loves flying through the air. And wearing leopard skins, which is interesting. It's a bold look. Usually just strippers, but this guy too. So, fair enough. Sima Jiong. He is a commander, and his nickname is the Imperious Regent. Well, how about that? It's a good nickname. Good nickname. Also, he loves sunsets and walks in meadows. Just loves doing that too, when he's not flying through the air, being launched by trebuchets, while looking nonplussed, you know? But yeah, all cool looking characters so far. So, Sima Jiong is a highly regarded young official who was once considered a proper heir, even to Emperor Wu, though he was eventually expelled from the capital. As an imperial prince, Sima Jiong had many imperial troops under his command, and as well as a well-regarded government official, he supported the initial coup against Empress Jia for the threat she formed to the existing power structure. He then allied against the initial usurper, Sima Lun, and through the success of this alliance, Sima Jiong became increasingly abusive of his position and increasingly power-hungry. So, another villain, really, by the sounds of it. His playstyle, a most capable military commander and known for his domineering attitude, Sima Jiong works best when taking matters into his own hands. His resource, control, is won through military feats and by building a network of judiciary buildings, but is diminished by having other characters take up ministerial positions within the faction. Nobody can hope to be his equal in government. A balanced approach is possible, however, by maintaining a high level of control. Sima Jiong can curb corruption and public order issues, though he risks dissatisfying his generals by denying them the promotions they desire. That is a really cool risk-reward thing. If you want to keep like your big resource going, which you get for like military feats and all the rest of it, I mean, the fact you're going to be doing a lot of battles, that's great, but as soon as you stop doing a lot of battles, you're going to want to make sure that your own generals aren't going to get annoyed with you, right? So this is really cool. This is really interesting to see. This could be novel, for sure. But essentially, this guy is a horrible dictator, which is always fun to play in a video game. You know, I don't often get to be a dictator in real life, so this would be a nice change. So Guanxi, Wang Bao was a government official and commander who tried to maintain order and lawfulness within the empire. He became a supporter of Sima Jiong and later gave some valuable historical accounts during the conflict between Sima Jiong and the alliance of Sima Yin, Yong, and Ai. So, cool. So he has a guy who I guess is the exact opposite of him. It's someone who will actually just keep civic things running, which I guess you need that, right? You always need your sort of You need the skills you're missing. You want someone to bring them to the table, right? And it seems like this guy did it for him. So that's cool. Start position. Oh, interesting. Back where like Kong Rong used to start, you know, way up there. So that's kind of interesting. Also, it looks like that is Kong Rong there, but I doubt it. He'd be long dead, I assume. Yeah, like super long dead. He was an old man when the game starts. So anyway, as the Prince of Qi, Sima Jiong has a powerful starting position, owning properties in 2 different commanderies. The commandery of Beihai, a valuable breadbasket, his position is relatively secure. The road to the capital is free. Hang on, did I skip something? Yes, I did. Sorry, my eyes skipped from Commander Beihai to that. No, valuable breadbasket. And the entirety of the Taishan commandery, including its trade port. After eliminating his initial opposition in Beihai, his position is relatively secure. The road to the capital is free, but he will have to be wary of the opposition of the other princes when heading towards the center of the map. He will need to seek allies and choose his strategy wisely, or he will see himself isolated diplomatically. I'm not surprised. He seems like a jerk. So anyway, Sima Jiong, the imperious regent, he causes terror. With his retinue causes terror. That's pretty amazing. So great for breaking people and also more morale when attacking, because apparently the people he has with him also love smashing things. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Keeps you on the offensive, but also terror, you know. Having your retinue spread out across your lines, just breaking a ton of extra units. Could be really cool. So, playstyle focus. Centralized government. Control increases public order and decreases corruption. Faction leader and military successes generate control. Control is lost by assigning ministers and through military blunders. Sorry guys, quite late. Removing opposition in court will generate control. Interesting. So, looks like he has halberds and crossbowmen, so, yeah, cool. Cool stuff. Yeah, I like it. That seems interesting. So again, you know, several nearby, and one way down here, so, yeah, pretty spread out so far, but of course we have another 4 to fit into this map, which we'll see in the next episode. So, we'll see where they go. So, what kind of player is he for? Players who want to challenge... Sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. I'm getting excited, guys. I'm getting excited. So, players who want the challenge of maintaining a faction where the true power lies largely in the hands of a single warlord should opt for Sima Jiong. He's perfect for the decisive and domineering individual. Well, alright then. So, that's our first 4. So, hopefully, if I've done this right, there will be a link in the description for the poll, right? So, for campaign 1 of 2 that I'm doing simultaneously, I know, I'm an idiot. It's too much, but I'm going to try, because I want to do it. So, it'll be between these 4. So, let me know between these 4 who you want me to play. And tomorrow, we'll see which of the other 4 we're going to go through. Also, guys, as of recording this, I haven't read any of this. Okay, I want it to be a surprise. I said I'll cut it down the middle. Right, so there's no bias on my side about, you know, trying to make sure that I hedge my bets. It's not like my 2 favourites are in this row or this row. I don't know. There could be. These could be just my 4 favourite generals, and these might be crap in comparison. They seem great now, but I haven't read these yet. I don't know who these people are, but I might want to play all of these. So I'm keeping it away from bias by making up that rule, that arbitrary rule of top and bottom from this particular blog. That's what I'm doing, alright? So, yeah, should come up with some interesting results. I can't wait. So, yeah, let me know with Sima. You want me to play in campaign 1. In Sima 1. Not Sima 2. So, whatever. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And be sure to stay tuned for, well, for the campaigns you guys can decide on. And other Total War stuff. Enjoy. Have a good one, guys.